welcome everybody to one man down again, but you know, illness prevails. Um, but it's still myself, Ashley, and over on the other side, Owen.
Hello, Internet.
Um, Here to discuss an event show we don't want to normally talk about, but I kind of think it is worth talking about because Critics' Choice felt slightly refreshing for the first time in years.
Yeah, I was actually lucky enough this time around. Everyone knows that has been following along for the longest time. I don't have access to television, so I have to depend on streams. And luckily, I found a really good one that stuck through the entire show. So I'm happy about that. I was actually able to watch the entire ceremony.
Well, it's more the fact that the ceremony, for the first time I think I've ever seen, we had a ceremony where we had to pad because it went that quick.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
Um, it was kind of fascinating. It's the first time, obviously, that we've seen it. Um,
So I will state right now, via the power of Gmail, I have AJ's thoughts on the show. I know what you're thinking. Conspiracy theorists, get your tinfoil hats on right now. Because AJ did not miss this show out of protest. No, trust me, I can assure you he is not. He has definitely not been feeling well these last several days. He will be back tomorrow, basically to gut through our last Oscar prediction show of the entire season before we actually go to the actual ceremony for the nominations
mhm.
next Tuesday morning. So I have all his commentary above my head too. So don't worry. AJ's thoughts are here. He's just going to be read in a way that I'm going to have to awkwardly read what he wrote.
The awkward situation. Um, so, in general terms, I think. I don't think Chelsea did that bad of a job. Probably the
Um,
best that we've had in a while because she did a little bit of stand up at first, but she was very minimally used, and when it is, she actually sort of was pretty good at it.
she got a fun reaction from you when we were watching this over the stream, basically because she pretty much outed the fact that she slept with her boss at E.
Possibly. And then of course
Allegedly. Allegedly.
there is the little bit that is doing the rounds of the weird face that Ryan Gosling was doing only because I follow an account where they put Paddington into anywhere that they can fit, be it movie or TV or whatever. So they put confused face Paddington in the background next to confused face Ryan Gosling from last night's awards.
AJ's thoughts on Chelsea Handler. I don't have much to say on Handler other than she was perfectly fine, just like last year, even if the fact that I can't really remember any of her jokes off the top of my head might seem like a bad sign. I'll blame it for being deaf in one ear all night. Yeah, AJ's not been able to hear very well in the last couple of days. He's been that sick. So, yeah, that's another thing that may have played into his absence tonight. I will say I found it classy that rather than making a ton of jokes at Joe Coy's expense, which I'm sure we were all waiting for, she instead scorched him with one sentence that didn't even mention his name, and then that was it.
Well, of course, considering they were formerly, I know, was engaged, or certainly they were partnered up. I don't know whether they actually married or divorced or anything. I can't remember, but
AJ also has something to say about the comments that were made in the prediction video in regards to what I was saying about Critics' Choice being on the younger side. I guess what I really meant to say is that they fall under younger mentality at times. Every time I see him on the red carpet, I still fill with pride for my old friend that we all shamed Clayton Davis off of IMDb's Oscar Buzz board back in the day. That's a shoot, by the way. Yeah, there are still a lot of much older critics at play. I see you, Leonard Maltin. I was also literally on the verge of passing out like 10 minutes before I cobbled my predictions together and sent them, so I'm surprised I got as many as I did, lol.
We'll get to that.
Yes, we will.
And I guess in general terms, before we go into the specifics of the awards and everything, um, the other thing notable is that for the first time, at least I think in a while, practically everything ran away with its categories, sort of semi-copying the Globes. Certainly in TV, there was a lot of like what won the Globe won. It'll be fascinating to see what happens tonight in terms of the Emmys. Whether it continues over like from 5 months ago.
Sure.
But certainly, the fact that we had only 3 films win multiple awards in the categories kind of it's always the issue with the Critics' Choice, because in that sense it does feel like it's more of a popularity contest rather than whether you're actually acknowledging the right stuff. That being said, I think there were some wins that bolster some of the things that might have happened at the Globes, partially. Um, and
AJ's
then
got
of
thoughts on that.
course, the one which makes the Academy look really stupid. But we'll get to
there.
that.
Yes, we will.
However, there's one thing we need to note before we actually get to going through the awards, is that 3 of the awards were presented beforehand, but apparently weren't presented beforehand. Maybe. So.
Okay, let's start with this. So everyone remembers a couple years ago when I was in California, and much happier by then, mind you, and AJ and Ashley looked at a Twitter feed to determine how the award ceremony worked out. So there is a Twitter feed that I use I think it's called Discussing Film.
Mm-hmm.
And they were giving updates constantly on the awards. And the unaired awards, which we'll get AJ's thoughts on in a minute, yeah, even though they were also given to an insert part of the show, they were announced online first. So I thought that was very interesting. Didn't see the red carpet. That's the one thing I missed. So they could have been given out on the red carpet, but that doesn't make any sense either because they were given out on the main show.
We will be listing them here as they were presented on the show, but we will note where it was. This was tweeted beforehand.
That is also correct.
So did we start off with the film acting, or?
So technically speaking, it looks like the first. I guess we're going to bounce around on AJ's comments a little bit because of the fact that the technical first award that was given out on the show itself would have been Best Supporting Actress.
Right. As it was for the Globes. And just like the Globes, we all got it right. Davine Joy Randolph, which, this is probably looking like the only definitive lock that I think is probably coming throughout the entire season.
We got a good old-fashioned Kenny Omega on this one. It's going to be sweet.
Indeed.
Supporting actress, AJ's commentary. Whoa, did any of you guys see that coming? I'm blown away.
I sense the Saki of the chasm right here. Yes.
Other news, water is wet. 'Tis the season. Yes. And yeah, we started off that way. So I guess we'll continue when we get to the also presented awards. I have commentary on that as well.
Okay.
So speaking of that, Best Supporting Actor was up next.
Yeah, and it was making us wonder what was going on because we did split opinion, but
yep.
Owen picked up the point. They copied the Globes. Downey Jr. gets a Critics' Choice as well, which then introduced us to, I guess, the new fan name. You know,
I'm
Cumberbatch
gonna
as
get
his
him.
Cumberbitches and all that. But Oppenheimer fans are apparently Oppenhomies.
I'm gonna get AJ to say it tomorrow's show. Mark my words, it will happen. My name is
If it's
AJ.
any,
Awesome,
yeah,
homie.
if it's
Go.
anything to do with Emily Blunt's opportunities of possibly winning, hit
We'll get
Oppenhomies.
there. Don't worry. Come on, SAG and BAFTA. Let's keep this train moving. That being said, a Ruffalo win would have been nice too after his inexplicable SAG snub. Not that I think that SAG snub is going to hurt him. Yeah, we're 100% on the same page on that one, AJ.
We'll bring up the SAG stubs next week because Owen has a soapbox that he might want to use.
Yes, I do. Uh-huh. We'll talk. So the funny thing is, I've seen SAG once, and I was like, what the? And then I stopped looking. It's going to be even better when you hear my Oscar predictions tomorrow with those SAG snubs. So keep that in mind too.
True, very true.
I got some Knott's Berry Farm boysenberry barbecue sauce for that crow I have to eat tomorrow. We'll get to that though.
Also worth clarifying, myself and AJ went with Ryan Gosling because we thought maybe there's a chance here. I still don't think Gosling is fully out of it yet.
No, but he needs to win something to get on the.
I'd have thought Downey. Not that I'm trying to reveal my hand for when we do predictions on the the guilds,
on
but
tomorrow.
no, but prediction for the
I
guilds.
need the guilds, right on.
I'm thinking Downey's probably going to be more of a shoe-in for the actors voting for supporting actor than Gosling. I would have thought.
Sure.
He has the story.
Do you want to go with chat real quick before you move on?
Yeah, a few little brief bits. Bryce says, I didn't watch the show, but it just did show that they did want Barbenheimer instead of just critics sometimes. Or being just critics.
That's pretty clear, actually.
To some extent, but there's sometimes where I thought Barbenheimer was a sort of shoo-in of winning, where it didn't.
Yeah, and there's some that it should not have won that it did.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a fan of the movie, but we'll get there in a minute as well. Josie says,
hey Popcast team, first time watches since last time. Where's Papa? What's that? Hollywood Shuffle and Time After Time. Poor Things was outstanding. My brother and I loved it. So sweet and inspiring. As an autistic woman, I found a lot to relate to with Bella. Like Bella, I'm curious, outgoing, and a book lover. Hopefully you don't want to kick babies. That's all I'm saying. By the way, I just recorded a podcast episode with David Rosen for the Piecing It Together podcast on Poor Things. It's a podcast where we look at a new movie and pair it with other ones, and we mentioned Frankenhooker, May from 2002, Anastasia, and David and Lisa, among others. Max and Bella are everything so freaking cute. Ruffalo and Defoe are deserving of the supporting actor attention they're getting, but honestly, Rami isn't getting enough attention.
It's too packed, Josie. That's the only problem. I completely agree with you, but it's too packed. And I've also seen your fan art too. That's good stuff as well.
He's such an integral part of Bella's self-actualization, very much so. And so sweet and supportive of Bella and stands by her throughout her journey. They sort of remind me of Juno and Bleecker, the timid, dorky guy standing by the girl of his dreams he loves for who she is through her journey, even if not always physically present.
If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, I finally made it work. Finally. I knew it was eventually going to work. If I do the heart hands, it actually does work with the hearts. Right. Fantastic. About time.
Right. I think we went from here to the first of the TV categories, I believe.
Yes, we are moving on to a Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series or Television Movie. Well, we all got nothing on this one.
I mean, the sort of disadvantage that this has is when you look at every other award ceremony, they don't do supporting actor
Mm-hmm.
like this. I'm just double checking the Emmys.
No.
Oh, they do it. Okay, so they do it for the Emmys, but the person that won, which none of us got, Jonathan Bailey for Fellow Travelers, didn't even get acknowledged in the Emmys. Then again, I don't know whether it was released in time to be in consideration. So it is till the next Emmys thing. But you know, he wasn't in there.
AJ has no commentary on this.
Yeah, and it's you know, considering as well the I'm just noticing we're getting, you know, Dharma and Blackbird recognition at the Emmys for supporting. So that's sort of how far we are behind, because they were the ones that were winning the Globes and the Critics' Choice, you know, 12 months ago. So maybe so that's a sort of a shoe in for next year's Emmys, at least nomination wise.
I mean, if I would have known anything about what Fellow Travelers was about, I probably would have went with it. But I mean, I didn't. I just went with name recognition, and that usually bites you sometimes when it comes to these awards. Sometimes it works. Most of the times it doesn't. Speaking of sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. But this time it actually did. Supporting actress.
Well, to be fair, there's one word here. Is
Yep.
one of the is beef. Beef, you know, won
AJ's
everything.
response. Yeah, AJ's response. I'm glad. Always bet on beef worked out for us.
Yeah. I love the fact we keep talking about beef in the middle of Veganuary. Yes, there it is. In terms of the supporting actor predictions, myself and Owen both went with Jesse Plemons, and AJ decided to go with Lewis Pullman from Lessons in Chemistry. As I say, we went with the names, but whether this means Jonathan Bailey gets more gigs, you know, fair play to him if that's the case.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what the order was.
I got it right here.
Good.
Worst Best Supporting Actress in a Drama was next.
Oh, yes. Where once again, because I guess they want to credit her for the performance rather than the material that she was used to having to go with. Elizabeth Debicki wins for Diana in The Crown.
That would be another win for you and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Going with Sophia DiMartino from Loki.
Yeah. Which was feasible because, you know, I wasn't sure whether, you know, the fact that that show was so critically panned for its final season, but somehow still gets an award win, seems confusing. But there we go. Them's the bricks.
Yes.
And speaking of that, never bet against the person that's always in the list every year for no reason, because
I am a huge Almost Famous mark. And going against Russell Hammond has paid off for me in the past, but it hasn't. This time I should have went with my head and went with what I thought I was going to go with. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'm wrong this time. No, it was correct.
Billy Crudup wins for the morning show.
I will read you exactly what AJ put. McFadden, Quan, McFadden. By God, it's Billy Crudup with a steel chair. That's verbatim in front of me right now.
Of course, the fascinating, because of course with the way that the guilds work, you're getting the two main contenders from supporting mixing in with the two main contenders from leading, and Brian Cox, because I think there needs to be an asterisk there, because, you know, Spoilers.
Of course, AJ went with the aforementioned Quan, and Ashley and myself went with McFadden.
Be interesting to see how that fares, not only tonight but at the guilds, because with the guilds, I feel it's more of a popularity contest. Sometimes I don't feel maybe the right person wins. It's just who's the most popular amongst the actors, which is a bit awkward. So that's why I'm wondering, does Billy have a chance of getting a SAG over
Maybe.
like some of the other people, just because they like him more? I don't know.
I don't have to make those predictions yet. I have to worry about that later.
Yeah, that's in a few weeks.
Not a few weeks. Next week.
um.
Next Monday.
Oh, I thought that was our discussion of the guilds.
Oh, that is the discussion conversation. It's yeah.
We have an advantage of the guilds not showing up until February 10th, so we can probably do it a week or two after that. So
that's fine. Next.
I don't know. Probably an advert. The amount of adverts that were in this.
So once again, my feed was out to get me because I saw trailers for May, December, and Maestro. And the first thing that popped into my head was, oh, you're going to announce a limited release in insert date here. Because I just got the Iggy the other day that I'm getting Zone of Interest in a couple weeks, so I can confirm I'm seeing that soon. But both times, both Netflix movies said, now playing, and also on Netflix. I was like, useless. Just like the thumb I didn't try to make, but it happened anyway.
I mean,
Best supporting actor in a comedy was next.
I have mixed feelings on what happens with May December in terms of that release, but I'd have thought Maestro is going to get multiple nominations somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So that's the more likely of the two.
I need to see them both now. I'm not going to.
So yes, supporting comedy. Was it? Oh yeah, it was actor first. So this was Eben Moss-Baccarat.
Yep.
I think first win for him.
Yep.
Because he didn't win at the Globes, although I think he was nominated. Let's just double check.
And Ashley went with James Marsden because all the love for jury duty. And AJ and myself went with Baccarat.
Yeah.
Actress. I made a mistake. I won't lie. I should have, LOL, always picked Meryl Streep. And I went with Cheryl Lee Ralph because I'm an idiot.
That's how depressing it is. It's a meme.
As an accurate statement. Speaking of that, we're going to go ahead and throw this out. AJ's response simply, holy crap, I got them both. I'm choosing to believe Meryl didn't show up because she didn't have Martin Short to hang out with this time. That's accurate. Josie says, jury duty is great. I also saw Godzilla -1. It was amazing, all caps. Never would I have expected myself to be emotionally moved by a Godzilla film. It had unique insights into war and grief. The characters were superbly written, and I love the performances. The chosen family theme gave me Shoplifters vibes. That's interesting. I also thought of Tokyo Godfathers with the baby. I rewatched Ants Friday night. It was great revisiting it. Ants trivia, of course, Chris Walken's voice work was so excellent that Cutter's role was expanded. Originally, he was a faceless lackey to General Mandible, but Walken brought some unexpected depths to the character. Interesting. Schwarzenegger was originally offered the part of Weaver. When he wanted to be paid for the role, it went to Sly Stallone, who was willing to do it for free. As you see, I'm not doing anything to create these little gimmicks that pop up on my screen, but I'm not going to be against them. Some of the characters are named after types of ants. Bala is the name that people in Costa Rica give to bullet ants. It's Paraponera, 'Panera' clavata species. 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 'Panera' c Once again, thanks to Josie for giving the trivia for our ants here. Azteca is named after Azteca andrea species. Weaver is named after Weaver or green ant genus Osecophylla. There we go. And cutter is named after leafcutter ants, which are genera Atta and Acromyrmex. There we go. General mandible is named after mandibles, of course, ant jaws. And ants and termites really do go to war with each other, but in reality, ants would emerge as victors because they would easily outnumber a termite nest. Thank you again, Josie. We appreciate that. Since I literally have to kill time because we are Ashley-less right now, and obviously AJ's not here. AJ also had some more thought about the awards. We'll get to that in a little bit. And he does have comments on the aired awards, including the See Her Award and also comments on the Lifetime Achievement Award for good old Air Force Harrison. We'll get to that later as well. I do not know why my phone keeps glitching out. I guess we'll just find out soon enough. Josie continues, I love the dialogue exchange between Z and Weaver. Sloan, when Weaver mentions Z going out with worker girls, and Z replies, Weaver, they're career girls. They're only interested in digging. Woody Allen had uncredited input on the finished screenplay, which is loosely based on Aldous Huxley's Brave New World novel. Interesting. Of course, Allen and Stallone appeared in Bananas in 1971 together. And once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us for this Critics' Choice recap video. Since Ashley's gone right now, I will let you know that tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, AJ will be back and we will be doing our final all categories Oscar prediction. So stay tuned for that. The next week, we have conversations on Sunday about the BAFTAs. We have conversations about the guilds and SAG on Monday. And Tuesday's the big day. 3 videos, 1 live podcast, 2 reaction videos, all here to determine what we think about the actual Oscar nominations. And then 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live, as we always do, to talk about everything. On that note, Ashley's back.
Mm-hmm. Did you go through the other comments that I'm seeing?
We're done, my friend. Let's go to the next category.
Which?
An actor in a limited TV series or movie.
Oh, it's the beef section.
Yes.
I think it was Ali Wong first.
Yes.
Which, of course, we all got right. And then Stephen Yeun we all got right as well for supporting actor.
AJ's commentary, I will continue to predict beef for years to come, even when it's not nominated. I love that he hugged Bill Hader despite him having nothing to do with beef, because why wouldn't you hug Bill Hader? I have no other thoughts on miniseries or TV movie outcomes.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's... And they have openly acknowledged now, I think, I know it was you or AJ, I can't remember the combo, but acknowledging the fact that more beefs might be coming, but with different people. So I guess to some extent we're doing the American Horror Story style deal in that it'll be anthology style as opposed to following those same characters for each series.
Apparently, before we go forward, Josie has some trivia about Godzilla -1. Gareth Edwards attended screening, described jealousy while watching the film, stating, "This is what a Godzilla movie should be like." Mm-hmm. -1 is the fact that Japan already been devastated by World War II, brought down to 0, but with the emergence of Godzilla, it puts Japan in the negative. This is reflected in the film's original Japanese tagline, translating to post-war Japan from 0 to minus.
Which I'm trying to remember if that now is... So I guess in Godzilla -1 stuff, the events of Godzilla never happened? Or Gojira, possibly. I guess, if you want to call it that.
You can continue the rest of the chat if you would like to. There's 2 questions left, and then we can go.
The
more
character
comments
of
about stuff.
Tachibana shares the surname with that of Admiral Tachibana, the father of the main protagonist from 2001's Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all-out attack.
.com.
The film outgrossed each of the Hollywood MonsterVerse films at the Japanese box office. Josie also says, how about Reptile -1? And how about a Godzilla Top Gun crossover, Top Godzilla?
That'd be intriguing.
I mean, I want a Godzilla Transformers crossover. You know, if Godzilla's Defender of Earth and so are the Autobots. Let's have Kaiju and, you know, Decepticons team up. That must have happened in a comic book somewhere. Maybe.
I'm sure.
And all the named warships in the film are among the few IJN ships to have survived the war in reality.
Okay.
So they're sort of... Okay. We're bending the truth.
Yeah, and Brian mentioned they just announced Top Gun 3. Yeah, I'm super excited for that one. That's not sarcasm, friends, no matter how I sounded.
And that's on top of Cruise doing the deal with Warner Brothers.
Right.
To do more stuff with them as well. On top of his Paramount commitment, so...
So, I want to talk about the comment that was made that, like, pissed everyone off. The rando from... Was that Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us that said that?
No. It's the person that was... Hang on. Let me get the Wikipedia up, because I think they actually had a list of who presented the stuff. Except I think this time it's actually accurate. It was whoever was with her. Oh, Anthony Ramos. Oh, great. Oh, is that why he did it? Because obviously Ramos comes from the background of Amdram. Literally, because it's the American Musical and Drama Academy.
Yes.
Maybe that's why he said, you know, Ariana DeBose wasn't a singer. I think that's what I completely forgot who he was, because, like, what has he been in that I vaguely remember? Not that much, which is a shame, because he is a good performer, but, like, I mean, hell, his next project that's coming out in July is Twisters, the sequel to Twister from 1996.
So, yeah, kind of bad statement, like calling out Ariana DeBose, who obviously just won for her West Side Story portrayal. And you've got Jack Black, who's been doing Tenacious D for years, like decades, like legitimately. And of course, I'm always going to defend Ryan Gosling because of La La Land, the rightful Best Picture winner. So, needless to say, it was a very tone-deaf statement, and it came off really bad, and they got skewered on social media for it, and justifiably so.
Which, again, see, I wasn't skewering Ramos. I was doing what you should always do. Skewer the person that wrote it, that put it on the auto cue.
It's easier to blame Bruce Valanche even when it's not his problem. Honestly. Josie says, I went bowling today and I scored. Congrats. Would you rather go bowling with, oh man, Walter or the dude? Cool. I think I'd be in, like, severe turmoil bowling with Walter, as long if I pissed him off. He could definitely snap on me and pull a gun on the... And I know that would happen. Dude would just be okay with me being like, dude, just throw your ball, man. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And Walter was like, come on, do what you gotta do, and curse at me and things, and probably scare small children, which would be fun to watch, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I'd be scared for my life. So, yeah, bowling with the dude, cool. Bowling with Walter, probably not cool. Bowling with Donnie, probably fine as long as Walter's not there. Donnie screws up because they probably. Love Lebowski, Josie. Got to see it theatrically this past year, and it was one of the only good things I got to say about the year. And the response from AJ, my reaction, pretty similar to Gosling's, because surprisingly enough, Ryan Gosling won for I'm Just Ken.
Yeah.
Beating Dua and Billy and Lenny Kravitz, Ariana DeBose, Jack
Which
Black.
I think with what we've seen, that probably does mean that the Dua Lipa song is the most likely to miss the Oscar nominations, I think. Given that, both have award wins.
Dance the Night's better than I'm Just Ken, but I understand why I'm Just Ken's in here. But What Was I Made For is perfect in every way possible. The way it's written, the way it's performed, the way it fits in the movie, and the way it fits outside of the movie, too. I said the Billy and Phineas, like Sean Fay Wolf line about them being the next Lennon and McCartney. I stick by that as long as everything continues to progress in a good way and they don't fall off, because that happens sometimes with duos, especially ones that are related.
Yeah, Mark Ronson and Andrew. Yeah. Let me get his name.
I know who Mark
Andrew
Ronson
Wyatt.
is, Brian. After he went off on his little tangent and everything, and the mic and everything, I'm like, yep, that's what you look like. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. That man made Uptown Funk. Yes, there's a show tomorrow, Josie, and AJ will be here no matter if he can't talk or not. Because it's the Oscars and it's important. You look into that any way you'd like to. Better question, since there's a bowling scene in Napoleon Dynamite, Walter and the Dude are Napoleon and Kip as bowling buddies.
It is kind of weird, though, to think about it, that the guy that wrote soundtrack songs for Robots and music and lyrics and the Arthur reboot that we didn't need, an Insurgent, and co-wrote Shallow with Lady Gaga. Okay, at least there's something good in there. And did that Amen track from, I think, the end of Creed 2.
Josie also says Iris was on the radio today, as well as You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. That's a good double feature, especially one back and forth. I love both of those songs. I wrote down some stuff, but I'm holding off on bringing them up here tonight because I wanted to see AJ's reactions and hear his laugh. Yes, it's quite infectious, Josie. 100%. That's why it's fun to read that he wrote literally LOL in the comment and being sent up to read back to you guys tonight. So yeah, we all went with Billy and we all came up Snake Eyes.
And
Ashley, have you read Michael Crichton?
I don't think so. I probably have the books because they were probably cheap for, like, Jurassic Park and the Lost World and everything. I think I have those two somewhere, but I haven't read them.
I had a paperback version of Jurassic Park that I remember reading once. Next.
We jump back to TV.
Yes.
Wow.
No, we don't. We go to cinematography next.
Oh, this is the first of the also presented on the night. Yay!
Hold on, I gotta find it first. Maybe. Okay, go ahead.
Or I guess we could more accurately describe it. The Barbenheimer also presented on the night, pretty much. Because best cinematography went to Hoyte van Hoytema for Oppenheimer. Yep. AJ going with Robbie Ryan's Poor Things on that one, but myself and Owen were correct. Which, you know, there's no, as I think as AJ said, in pretty much the Globes and this, there probably is no wrong answer here. It's a good list.
Mm.
We then had animated, I think.
Production design is
Oh, it's
next.
production design, which went to Sarah Greenwood and Kate Spencer for Barbie. So AJ got the point back. Me and Owen both went with Saltburn because I guess we thought it might win something.
It needed to, deserves to.
Um, but yeah, let me just double check. Okay, we don't have any. We don't have any precursor for production design because there's. I've noted other stuff just in the last 20 minutes while I've been here.
Foreign language is next.
Then we went to foreign language for Anatomy of a Fall, which myself and Owen also got. AJ probably rightfully went with Godzilla -1. I think if this was the only place that Anatomy of a Fall, if this wasn't the only place that Anatomy of a Fall was, I think you probably would have had that.
Oh yeah.
Not win foreign language film, especially because it is weird because I guess it's enough because I think what the rule is, I think like 25% of it has to be foreign language,
Mm-hmm.
at least for the Oscars,
Right.
because obviously a lot of Anatomy of a Fall isn't. I'm surprised
It's a
she
selling
didn't do
point
it
of
in German, um, rather than English in terms of saying that she doesn't understand the French language, but
Yeah, that's a selling point of the trial scenes, honestly. AJ's response, and I concur. I wonder what people who haven't seen Anatomy of a Fall are thinking when he keeps winning foreign when all the clips they show are in English.
yeah. And of course, the beautiful justice here is if the French film. Hang on, I need to double check. Did the French film make it? Okay, Taste of Things did make it into the shortlist at Oscars. Because I'm kind of wondering now whether it isn't going to make it into the nominations list. And the French Academy balls up, which is always good.
Taste of Things, Josie's least favorite title of the year. Basically, finally saw a trailer for it when I saw All of Us Strangers the other night. Not too impressed. Just by the trailer, not too impressed at all.
That's why I fear it only got the acknowledgement because Juliette Binoche.
Speaking of only got the acknowledgement, the first award that was given out on Twitter right away was Best Animated Feature. This was when it was given out on the televised award.
Yeah. About an hour in. That's what caught me off guard as well, because normally we start these also awarded on the night like an hour and a half in. Like we're jumping early. So yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did win.
Weirdly enough, AJ has no commentary on this whatsoever.
I mean, I'm kind of not surprised because it does seem a given.
It shouldn't be, but yeah, I guess.
Well, a given at least to get nominated next week. I would have thought.
I don't dislike Spider-Verse, but it's just like it's okay. I don't know why it's the second coming of Slumdog Millionaire, but people think it is. I like Boy in the Heron either, so I don't really have a
part
horse
of
in
me.
the race when it comes to.
Part of me feels not as attached to this as Into the Spider-Verse was, because
see that one.
we Mission Impossible for what the hell is it name? Dead Reckoning Part 1 did.
Yeah.
You know, it leaves it on a cliffhanger, so it's like you're waiting for the second one, which they allegedly claimed was going to be coming like in April, and then lo and behold, we find out within the past 2 weeks. Who is it that voices Peter Parker in that? Oh, trying to think off the top of my head. He basically says, "Oh, I haven't recorded any lines." Yet this was originally supposed to come out 3 months from now, and no lines have been recorded. So that's at
Jake
least the one
Johnson.
thing I do acknowledge, in terms of Peter Jackson when he did this and pulled it and purposefully did it. He knew that there was something coming out, within so long. As much as you hate on the Matrix, you still at least got two Matrixes within 6 months of each other, so it fit because they filmed them. I always feel like leaving such a long gap between sequels that are supposed to be like direct follow-ons is very risky territory.
Yeah, I said I don't think Ashley Ryan is Jake Johnson.
That's it, yeah, Jake Johnson. Because all I was thinking is that annoying guy from Chips and Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, AJ's not a fan of his either. Neither am I. Couple of messages from chat from Josie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you look at a picture of Hoyte van Hoytema. Doesn't look like a cinematographer. Looks more like a rock band member. Fair. Same with Ludwig Göransson. He doesn't sort of look like a composer as much. When I went bowling, they had music videos to Hands Clean from Alanis Morissette, Say What You Want by Nelly Furtado, and Story of a Girl by 9 Days. Hoyte van Hoytema has the same birthday as Dakota Johnson, Alicia Silverstone, Rachel Lee Cook, Susan Sarandon, Christoph Waltz, and Liev Schreiber.
Nice.
Miles is the most artistic superhero we have. We don't have many superheroes who are artists. Fair. And Bry probably saying true. Because of the controversy of a toxic work environment that Lord and Miller have behind the scenes, which is why Beyond the Spider-Verse has no major updates. Yeah.
That's logical. Okay. All right. So, animated ended up going into actor and actress in a comedy.
Yeah, adverts for adverts, and then we jump into the start of The Bear. Full-on loving, because Io Edebiri wins Best Actress, and Jeremy Allen White once again takes Best Actor.
Deservingly so.
Yeah.
It was this moment that I realized that Jeremy Allen White looks like Shia LaBeouf, and when I saw that, I realized immediately my Eric Weiss Harry Houdini movie that I've always wanted Shia to do, that I realized when I saw Greatest Game Ever Played many, many years ago. Yeah, Jeremy Allen White for Harry Houdini. Make this happen, Hollywood, now. AJ's response, all speeches should just be Io Edebiri being in a relatable mess. I have no more thoughts on the comedy series categories.
No, that's fair.
Hi, Parsnip Burger. Were your Critics' Choice picks good or bad? I got 60% on film and high 70s on TV. Apparently, I did decent.
Yeah. I mean, we'll run through the figures and give you the rough percentages, but let's just say for a rare occasion, and certainly for all of us, yet alone myself and Owen, at least in television went surprisingly well. And then we really decided to jump, because we went to acting ensemble.
Hold on.
I think.
No.
It was. Oh no! It's more also presented on the night.
It is actually an important award that apparently was not important enough to be televised. Best Original Screenplay.
Oh yeah. The screenplay ones that they just went, oh, here you go. Um, which was won by Greta and Noah for Barbie.
Woohoo!
Watch it win every single original screenplay and then lose out at the Oscars because it's been shoved into adapted. And then the Academy is going to look. There's going to be protests. Pink will be thrown at the Academy building. The museum will just be glitter bombed. Um,
I will say right now that we all split this one here. AJ went with the holdovers, which hindsight being 2020 actually was a safe bet.
mm-hmm.
And I went with Past Lives, which got absolutely no love whatsoever. So it's weird because AJ went with a movie that I should have went for, and I went for a movie that AJ should have went for.
And I just went with the winner.
Speaking of a winner,
yeah.
welcome to the board.
Yeah, so obviously we've adapted because of everything that was happening. People were thinking, okay, so this is Oppenheimer's because, everything is Barbenheimer apparently tonight. And then lo and behold, Cord Jefferson gets the win for American Fiction.
Heck yeah. Totally deserved. So I saw American Fiction on Friday, and unless something drastic happens, I'll be watching it again this coming Friday. Hi, Sterling K. Brown. Where have you been this whole season? We'll talk about that tomorrow. His delivery is phenomenal. It's funny because I just finished something recently that will probably not see the light of day anytime soon. But I definitely did finish something. And after doing that and then jumping right into American Fiction, it was the perfect movie to watch that kept me in that same mindset. It's written great. It's performed very well. It's a phenomenal film. And anything that Jeffrey Wright gets moving forward is well deserved. To get Cord Jefferson into this conversation, I'm 100% behind. And AJ's response simply on that was, congrats to all of Oppenheimer's tech wins, and nice get for American Fiction and Adapted. Yes, it is.
I'm trying to remember what else we had now for movies.
Hold on. The next one should be Score.
Officially Score. Which we all got right. Ludwig Göransson following on from the Globes with a win here as well. And then I think there was one more, wasn't there? Or was there not? Oh, was
It's hard to keep track of the way they screwed things up. The way they did. The next one they went with was costumes.
Yeah. Which went to Barbie. So
Yep.
Point there for AJ and Owen. I went with Poor Things because I think there's a lot of good costumes there. And then just because I need to double check, I don't think. Yeah, costume does not have carryover. And then I think, did they have comedy here?
The next one would be, comedy. Which we flipped it. This time I went with things, and AJ actually went Barbie.
Yeah. And Barbie won that. But we'll come back to that.
And a few. Next is Ensemble.
Yeah. David Duchovny and how does Meg Ryan still have a career?
I feel like I'm one of the only people that saw that movie.
Which
the
one?
box office tells me probably correct.
Which one?
They did a movie this year where they were both stuck in an airport
Yeah, but
that she
I'm talking
actually
about
wrote.
Ithaca from 9 years ago.
I'm just talking about the reason why they presented together is because they promoting the movie that no one saw. What happens later?
Ithaca with a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, and what happens later? Oh, 47, so at least it's better. For,
It's it's weird because I know she's done a lot of various things throughout her career, but at the end of the day, I don't think of Meg Ryan to be someone a curse. And she's so like flippant about it in what happens later. So it's like it threw me off completely. I'm like, oh, okay, this is fine. And David Duchovny's just kind of chewing the scenery.com. So it's it's fine. And most people don't even know what it is. I mean, it's not going to make any lists or anything, but still.
I just need to check something.
Oh, real quick while you're checking things. Brian says it's the pre-existing character rule. Josie asked if the Tarot movie would be adapted. Tarot Barbie, a whole tarot deck Barbie. How is Erica Alexander in American fiction? She's good. She's she's a girlfriend, but she's got depth to her. So actually, her stuff is solid. Also says I wouldn't rule out a posthumous win for Robbie Robertson. You know, anything Killers gets, I'd be fine with. Alexander, of course, has the same birthday as Adam Driver, Jodie Foster, Meg Ryan, and the late Gene Tierney. Talk about Jodie Foster tomorrow. November 19th. Favorite Meg Ryan roles in Anastasia and Inner Space, and said, I like David Duchovny in Evolution. That's fair.
why didn't
What
they?
were you trying?
Why did they not release what happens later in or around the day that it's all set on?
It's just when it came out.
No, but like it's all supposed to be set around February the 29th. The only
I
stuff
know.
coming out the week before the 29th is Ordinary Angels and the one that Owen will be attached to, Drive Away Dolls.
Heck yeah.
So I
Most
feel
anticipated
that
movie of the year.
because there's no big releases coming out, that would have been a prime opportunity for it to be there and sort of themed wise work. That's why Holdovers I think was as successful as it was, because it was holiday themed and it was released around the time of the holiday.
It was originally supposed to be released on October 13th, but they pulled it because of the Eras tour.
Should have pushed it to February.
You're not wrong, and it might have done better, honestly, because
you
those type
know,
of movies do very well during that time of year, and it got pretty much buried. It was gone in like a week.
the only reason that we've got Origin and American Fiction being as big as they are over the next week or two is because, of course, today is Martin Luther King Day.
That's correct.
That's what that. Look at how many Tyler Perry films were brought out on MLK Day.
Hey, I mean, I'm fine with that. It got me to finally see American Fiction, so I'm totally good with that.
No, that's what
That's
I'm
okay,
saying.
Parsnip Burger.
Sometimes if your film is set around the thing, release it around the time rather than like the fact that we're getting holdovers this week. I think they're only going to be lucky with the fact that we're getting like a cold freeze over here, so we're getting like snow and ice, so it probably feels right in terms of weather. But
That's a fair assessment.
considering everything else and being set around the holiday, there's a reason why when movies come out at Christmas, they don't bring them out sort of on home media until maybe like the following autumn. Because if you do a Christmas film and then you release it digitally in March, where's your market? That's why holdovers went to digital so quick, so it could still capitalize on the holiday season stuff.
I mean, I'm
Anyway,
just glad it got a theatrical run like
yeah.
intended. Screw the stream.
Anyway, so this is where we're supposed to talk about Oppenheimer.
Hold on. Parsnipburger says, sorry, I'm slow commenting. I'm trapped in snow and I have COVID. I'm sorry, Parsnipburger. I hope you feel better. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have not, knock on wood, had the Steve Carino myself, but I hear it's hell. I know lots of people that have had it multiple times.
I feel we're probably stalling here because we don't want to fall into AJ's trap of, yeah, Emily Blunt won an award.
No. I've got words. Don't worry. I'm trying to keep it in order because this is so freaking difficult. The next thing would be, did we do ensemble
No,
already?
we talked about. I talked about Meg Ryan because she was presenting the award, and so we went on a
Speaking
Meg
of
Ryan
ensemble,
tangent.
ensemble leads to the next also presented award.
Oh, did we not? Are we not acknowledging AJ's comments on ensemble? Because I don't think you brought them up. Because I'm
I
guessing there
do
must have
not
been
have.
some.
Hold on. I'll read it specifically. Blunt speaking for the group. 5 hearts. Congrats to David Krumholtz for getting some stage time with an exclamation point. Who's taking the stairs now, De Niro? Check out his De Niro story if you haven't. Sorry, I'm having to bounce around a little bit because he didn't have the order. So yeah, ensemble went to Oppenheimer as we alluded to earlier. We all went with it because duh. That also led to what apparently wasn't a dub because all 3 of us screwed it up. Best movie made for television went to Quiz Lady.
Aquafina and Sandra Oh getting a win.
This was presented 3rd on Twitter. Notice I haven't mentioned 2nd yet. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, and this is where we just, as you may have noticed, we've pretty much done everything on TV, bar the drama, acting, and the big 3. So as you'd expect, the rest of this is made up of the other stuff.
That's correct.
So I think we then went to animated series.
That is animated series, which apparently don't bet on Bluey because that's a sucker bet right now.
Scott Pilgrim takes off, did its job, and got acknowledged by the critics at least for it. Which I guess means I can't vote after going for Bluey last year and not going for it and winning this year. Bluey is like the also in this category of also in these awards. I mean, we'll see what else makes it in here, to be fair.
Right.
Because I don't know how much. I don't know whether Harley Quinn's been recommissioned for a new season. I don't know whether we've got any more Scott Pilgrim coming.
Right. Foreign language series.
Yeah, which went to Lupin.
Yep.
Based on the I'm trying to think whether it's a, well, I guess if it's 1900s it can't be anime, but certainly I remember anime stuff previously in terms of the stuff. Yeah, a whole load of comics.
Apparently that was the 2nd time that Parsnip Burgers had the good old Steve Carino.
Yeah.
He had it once in 2022. Josie says, I put away Bluey books at the library a lot. Don't get me started.
And there also is a sort of Lupin-esque character in Persona as well.
All right. Then we moved to comedy special.
Yeah. And credit to AJ for getting the win with that. John Mulaney getting some acknowledgement.
AJ, simple words, hell yes, Mulaney.
Which is fair.
Sure.
Oh, and on foreign language series, AJ went with Mask Girl. Don't even mention that.
Yep.
And then finally, to talk show, which is kind of funny because I don't think there's very rarely guests that like talk with him on a couch, like you'd expect with most talk shows that are in this list. So once again, of course, John Oliver wins.
Whether it's an unstoppable force or an immovable object, both could be used to describe John Oliver.
Pretty much.
Reading exactly verbatim what AJ wrote.
I believe then we transition to. So, because
Drama.
Eh?
Drama, actor, and actress.
No, we had. Hang on, let me just double check the order here.
Yeah, it's drama and actor and actress. I have the order.
We haven't acknowledged the. We haven't acknowledged the.
See her?
Oh yeah, we didn't even acknowledge that from earlier. Yeah, America Ferrera getting the See Her award, which was like about an hour. Well, not an hour as we're doing it, but sort of. I can't remember where it was exactly. It will probably say in the list, won't it? Because it will mention. Yeah, after the TV movie. Well, between TV movie stuff and song, or acting in TV movies and song, Margot Robbie, unsurprisingly, presented the award to America Ferrera, and then we have Harrison Ford. This was a kind of crazy moment. One, because apparently the best they could come up with for presenting it to him was James Mangold. You know, not anybody else like from his career. It seems a bit different.
Commentary. Between a Ferrari getting the See Her award and then filling in their extra time by giving Robbie and Gordon the stage for best comedy after it wasn't aired. This is AJ speaking. This is definitely not me. This whole ceremony's purpose seemed to just be working serious overtime on Barbie's narrative. Even Robbie's tag nom, this felt like some serious manufactured momentum BS. Sensitive for you, Owen. Thank you, AJ.
Well, not that I'm trying to fuel the conspiracy theory, but the CW is part of Warner Brothers Discovery, and we know who made Barbie. So that's why I'm surprised we didn't have Barbie sponsor something to do with something on AEW. You know, try and cater to somebody.
No, we've done other. We're doing Suicide Squad this week.
And I guess they didn't do anything to do with atomic bombs on Raw or NXT for stuff on Universal's NBC/USA Network stuff.
We did straight up promote the Texas Chainsaw video game with that match, so there you go.
Oh, don't remind me.
Hey, I didn't mind it. It was fine. I'm a little biased, though.
No. The match was terrible. The only positive is it was all the money went to charity. That's the only positive I can take from that.
I'm okay.
But yeah, like Harrison Ford getting like deeply emotional and on the verge of crying for getting career achievement.
So
what's going to happen if he wins the SAG Lifetime Achievement? Is he just going to have a bloody heart attack? Like, if that's how he feels about critics, of which we've already had people acknowledge, you know, beforehand, I don't read them. Thanks, Emma Stone. We'll get to that.
We'll get there eventually. AJ says, watching someone as notoriously humble as Harrison Ford really take in the gargantuan impact of his filmography is very heartwarming and satisfying. Love the touch that Mangold named off so many of his legendary movies, making a truly overwhelming list, then address that he hadn't even mentioned Star Wars or Indiana Jones. Very true.
And then, because of the fact that he wasn't allowed to present supporting actor, apparently, because that had to go to the two people from the Amazon film that sort of got crapped on this past week. Um, Ke Kwan has to do Best Actress in a Drama Series instead of Best Supporting
Yep.
Actress. Which means the flowers and all that goes to Sarah Snook.
Yep.
For Succession.
And everybody went with that except for AJ. He went with Bella Ramsey. Actor went to, you're welcome, Kieran Culkin, with Ashley, and was going with another member of the Drive Away Dolls cast, Pedro Pascal.
Kieran, and of course the best bit, Kieran Culkin's speech is just about his partner and Sarah Snook pulling at each of his ears because there's hairs growing
Yep.
off of them. That is, he does thank the camera crew, but practically most of his speech is just talking about somebody's pulling a hair on my ear, and then they're pulling on the other ears, and then I'm looking like that. Oh, I better talk.
Speaking of that, AJ's response is pretty solid. Thanks for the Globe recap, Critics' Choice. No further on the thoughts. Comedy series was up next.
Yeah. Where Sandra Owen Aquafina from Quiz Lady came through to present, of course, To the Bear, which we all got.
Yes, of course.
Then, of all people, Daniel Levy comes out to present Drama Series.
That was random.
Which
went. No, we're for no. Drama's further away. We have a couple more. We have the also presented because they don't matter. Best editing.
Yeah, as usual. Best editing went to Jennifer Lame for Oppenheimer. I went with Killers of the Flower Moon because apparently Thelma Schoonmaker needs to cap some kneecaps with these critics.
Yeah, I agree. The Oppenheimer love continues with visual effects. ScrewTheOscars.com.
Part 1.
Yes. Oh yeah, good point.
Part 1, with Oppenheimer making it in here, but not being in the list. Speaking of makeup and hair.
Yep.
Barbie wins, not in the Oscars list.
Yep.
Even though
AJ,
I'm just seeing if there's. Have I got notes yet for the makeup and hair? Oh, I haven't put them in. I haven't put in.
AJ's response to the end of his tirade about Barbie. That makeup and hair win is also pretty nonsensical given the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, there's makeup and then there's hair. If you combine them, makeup and hair, there's some movies that have better makeup, some movies that have better hair. Apparently, according to the critics, you have Barbie with both makeup and hair. Okay. And it's funny because there's one more unaired award that we can talk about in a few minutes, but we're not there yet. Now we go to Best Drama Series.
No.
But first, Young Actor and Actress.
Yeah.
Which was after makeup and hair, but presented second on Twitter. So we finally get the second Twitter award.
Previous years, they've actually shown this. Apparently, this year they don't want to acknowledge Dominic Sessa. Apparently.
Once again, AJ and myself going with Dominic Sessa because obviously but Ashley going out on a limb with the correct answer, which is Milo Mikado Grainer for Anatomy of a Fall.
Part of me is wondering whether BAFTA could be inspired as that. I need to check the long list. I'm going to have to copy them into my spreadsheet just so they're there and accessible for when we do the BAFTA long list and short list.
So, what we're going to do, Ashley, we're going to get TV out of the way. And then after that, we're going to go to chat, and then we're going to hit the rest of the categories.
Because of Owen casually doing that, like Orange Cassidy style, the iPhone acknowledged it as a thumbs up, and then a thumbs up emoji came on the screen completely by accident.
It's happened a lot. I'm not even doing anything. It's randomly coming up now. I finally got the hard hands thing to work, so that actually worked. I'm happy with that. Since that's the most obvious one I do most of the time when I'm not doing thumbs up or thumbs down, and I can make the lightning go. Let's go. There we go.
Then of course
That's
we
the weather
have.
day that I ran in. Don't get me wrong.
Then of course we really have the random thing. We have John Cryer, Donald Faison, and Abigail Spencer from Extended Family. That show that only debuted 3 weeks ago on NBC, and people might be watching. I don't know. I guess the awkward situation is production got interrupted because of SAG strike, so who knows what happens with that. When we get to the other 6, especially if it's not that well received. I don't know. I don't know how its viewership seems to be sort of in the few millions, which I don't know whether that's good for NBC. I'm guessing not.
Don't know anymore. Drama and limited series were up next.
But yeah, both of these were random. Daniel Levy giving the award to Succession was okay, and then those 3 from a show that barely has any traction and people might not even know exists. Which, going to beef. We might as well continue. Yeah. Which means, because we can actually finish it there because there's no other TV stuff.
Nope.
AJ had 11 correct. Myself and Owen had 14 correct.
Yeah. Yes.
Which means that's 14 out of 20. So on television alone, me and Owen was 70%.
And if I would have thought about it, some of those that I did not select, I probably would have in another circumstance.
Yeah, I probably should have gone Bear. You should have gone Streep. I probably still wouldn't have gone Culkin, but I then, you couldn't obviously copy the Globes. I mean, we tried copying the Globes, and it pretty much worked apart from the Billy Crudup thing. So
Billy Crudup is someone I've gone through in the past, and I'm a bit Almost Famous mark. And
true,
that's what
yeah,
brought
but
up last time I went with him.
But the amount of awards here though that crossed over both was practically all of them.
Mm-hmm. We'll get there.
I guess the awkward. I guess because of the Globes being supporting actor in everything, it sort of dilutes the water a bit. So,
chat.
Those are the tougher ones to predict. Josie saying I put away Bluey books at the library a lot. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
Barbenheimer double date, America Ferrara and her husband in Barbie, her real life husband, and then Krasinski and Blunt, joined by Nolan, Emma Thomas, and Killian and his wife, and maybe Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes, and Harrison Ford and Callista Flockhart. Don't forget that. Margot Robbie and her husband are hokey fans. Is there a photo or a vid with Harrison and Ki Kwan? I don't think so. I didn't remember seeing anything last night from it. There's the stuff from last year when, Kwan was getting all his flowers for the
Right.
thing that we can't acknowledge.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ashley.
I can't wait to see Cessa's career go from here. He looks like he was plucked from the 70s.
Yes.
Angus Tully could totally be friends with the Von Erich brothers or not.
That'd be interesting.
And with how much he loves 70s, I could see Cessa working with PTA.
It's already happened. It's Cooper Hoffman in Licorice Pizza. That's the first thing I thought when I saw Cessa, and it's exactly the same situation,
Hang on.
too.
I'm trying to remember what is he doing. It was in the news. Yeah, so the I think it's supposed to be like a spy thing or something. That Anderson has officially cast Sean Penn, I guess following on from Licorice. And then the debuting Regina Hall and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's Paul Thomas Anderson with $100 million budget, apparently. I'm fearing
That's
20 million of that alone is just for DiCaprio, but there we go.
DiCap's new movie. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we'll see how that goes. Then we get to Brendan. Well, no, actually, I don't think it is. Is it Brendan Fraser here? Yeah, it is. The comedy stuff comes later because of time. So yeah.
Actress is next.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser comes out, and we're going, oh god, look who it is. That probably means it's Lily Gladstone, right? And then sweep. Nope, Emma Stone gets it.
See, I'm of two minds of this because I'm okay with either performance winning. And again, like I said before, because the Critics' Choice want to copy the Globes in some way, shape, or form, this time I'm using the term visibility one more time, but still, getting Emma Stone this victory is a big deal because it's more visibility.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's response, much like the Stone battle, even after saying I wasn't ruling out Giamatti, I was still a little surprised to see him beat Murphy. We'll get to that in a minute. It's funny, after how many times everyone, including me, says it's a battle of the Stones, I was still kind of surprised when Gladstone lost. I still think Gladstone is a pretty good amount of momentum and is a good sag bet, but if Emma's going down, it's certainly not without a fight. Not taking my eye still off of Mulligan when industry awards get here too, even though the clowning of Maestro is really starting to go mainstream.
Hey, if it means it gets nothing alongside Killers of the Flower Moon, possibly, that's going to be, Scorsese and Bradley Cooper sharing a beer.
So it's funny because we were talking about AJ, because if you watch this, and still, this is a conversation we've had before, and I can have with everyone here, is the fact that Alexander Payne getting bumped out of the director race because of Bradley Cooper's rise with Maestro. Well, the DGA got announced, and Cooper wasn't there, and Payne was. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen at this point. There's a lot of questions, and I'm very curious to see where we end up going with it. We all went with Gladstone, but Emma Stone won.
And then we get to... Well, no, we get to Cate Blanchett. Oh, wait, she isn't here. So we got Oprah instead.
Because that makes sense.
To present Best Actor to Paul Giamatti.
I'm okay with that completely. It seemed like it was Killian's award to lose at this point, and Giamatti came out of nowhere, and he knows how to put over the West Coast because he went in and out and broke the internet.
I don't know whether we have found out whether Paul Giamatti went to a different place. As
No, he said something about he was going to go, but this time he's staying in his car.
okay.
That's a fair assessment.
At the same time, though, if it means that we get him in In-N-Out burger commercial somewhere in America, I'll be like, is this going to be US expansion because of Paul Giamatti rather than just localized?
Since I read this wrong the first time. Much like the Stone battle, even after saying I wasn't ruling out Giamatti, I was still a little surprised to see him beat Murphy. Giamatti has really built up some well earned goodwill over the course of his career and really seems to be coming to a head at the right time with this movie. I don't typically say this after Critics' Choice, but we've got ourselves a race for sure. Especially since I can so easily see Giamatti and Murphy splitting SAG and BAFTA, making it even more interesting that I can see that split happening either way. Giamatti with SAG where Murphy takes BAFTA, or Murphy gets SAG, Giamatti takes BAFTA. Wild.
Because I'm trying to look at what has Giamatti. Oh, it's just listed as miscellaneous awards. So, so that's interesting. BAFTA did not acknowledge Giamatti for Sideways back in the day.
Then they are making up for lost time.
So holdovers might be making it in that respect. That being said, if you want to include sort of ensemble related stuff, he was part of 12 Years a Slave that obviously got Best Picture 10 years ago.
I wonder if they got. Okay. Josie says, I wonder if they got Fraser to present lead actress because they expected Lily to win. It's like with the 2021 Oscars when they presented actor last because they thought those would win.
I mean, maybe. Then, of course, we get to the awkward moment because myself and Owen were looking at the time and it's like, this has been running short. Either you need to have 7 minutes of adverts, or something's going to have to happen. And then, lo and behold, all of a sudden, Chelsea Handler goes, we know that they've got an award, but I feel it's only fair that they come up on stage to actually give a speech for Greta and Margot to come up and acknowledge their win for Best Comedy. And immediately I'm going, this is how we're padding. This is the first time in awards history, I think, that we've had to bring somebody up to fill the gap because we've run that early because people are keeping to their time and not having to get played. Because I think the only person that got played off was it Downey or Randolph?
It was Jonathan Bailey.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
100% it was Jonathan Bailey.
The false alarm was Aya Dabiri when it's like, are they playing me off? Oh, wait, we're in an airplane hangar. So yeah, no, everybody sort of did short speeches and stuff. It's weird. Like next year, are they going to have to say, can you speak a bit longer because you're getting through this too quick? Because we got to sort of like the second hour finished, and it's like there's only 8 awards left to give. I mean, the Harrison Ford one would have taken long, which it did. Like 10 minutes or so.
But he didn't talk that long at all.
Because you have I guess the other thing as well, we had very few, and very short at that, video packages for the stuff.
We had a lot of combined awards too. It's like, oh, by the way, let's announce every single nominee and just give them out twice. And by the way, let's come here and do an announcement, an acceptance speech, and then let the other person do an acceptance speech. And they were trying to rush for a while, and then that fell apart. And they're like, okay, fine, we're back to doing it just one award per person.
Yeah, and they did they did a decent speech. Um,
Um,
the only reason I think Greta is crying is because of the Netflix Disney prison that she's in right now.
Dang it. Josie says, with American Fiction and SAG Ensemble and holdovers not, I wonder if Jeffrey Wright could win SAG. I would be completely okay with it, Josie.
There's a chance.
Jeffrey Wright's
As I
great,
say, I
and
think
American Fiction is
part
really
of
fun with
SAG
that.
is who you know, not what you did.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Director,
yeah, which is John Krasinski, who's
of
married
course.
to somebody I can't remember.
We'll
Anyway,
get there. Don't.
Oppenheimer won. Oh wait.
So Ashley went with Greta. Me going against Greta is not normal for me, but I kind of want to win this season, so I have to go against my heart sometimes and go with my head. You'll see that tomorrow. Again, I have the barbecue sauce for the crow I eat tomorrow. Needless to say, if you've been playing along in the home game, you know exactly what I'm about to say tomorrow. Um, Nolan wins. AJ's response simply the right answer, of course. Especially loved his sweet shout out to Emma Thomas. Another time I wouldn't mind just a sweep from here on out. One might say it was a predictable outcome, especially with Mr. Blunt himself presenting. But the way they were really trying to spend the night, I was actually starting to suspect a Gerwig victory.
Just trying to double check. Uh,
No, no double check. We're already we're at the very end.
well, no, because we're acknowledging Nolan and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not listed on his Wikipedia correctly. Although enough of it makes me look at it anyway. Um, this is the first time he's winning anything.
Yep.
Didn't even win BAFTAs in previous years for Inception or Dunkirk. So the fact that he only got a Britannia Award for excellence in directing back in 2010, which is sort of like the weird not BAFTAs that happen. So is this actually everybody? Is this Nolan's The Departed? To some
It's
extent.
very well possible at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see with the BAFTA nominations coming out. Easily, he should be in there in the list for director for sure. And then, history, or history for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea Handler being the host, presenting the best picture, and it goes to Oppenheimer. So for the first time since Spotlight, for the 2015 year, so 2016, so I guess 8 years ago. We have our first one to win ensemble and picture. All the other ones that may have won picture and gone on to get picture at the Oscar, like one we can't mention, and the other one that I can't mention, which is the Moonlight La La. I think La La Land got picture and no, it was the other way around. La La got ensemble and Moonlight got picture at Critics' Choice that year.
I believe so, yes.
But every time since, the one that's got ensemble hasn't got picture. Even like Parasite, which is kind of surprising. Then again, that's probably because they classified it as foreign, so they didn't want to acknowledge it. Because of course they're geniuses. But yeah, so whether that considering what happened with Spotlight that year, whether that's a good sign for Oppenheimer as well, we'll have to see.
So Brian says, heads up, I'm feeling there's a possibility Barbie's, Killers, Oppenheimer, Poor Things could all get double-digit nominations at the Oscars, like 2019 with Irishman, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Also, no ties here. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
count
think
how
for the
many I
first
think
time in
they're
a
getting.
while.
It's reversed, Brian said.
Oh, okay. La La Land got Picture and Moonlight got Ensemble.
Yes.
I couldn't remember. I was just looking for names that I was going from one page to the other. Click, click, click. No, they're different. Click, click. Oh, Spotlight.
Yeah. Speaking of that, AJ gets the last word, of course. Is my favorite movie of the year actually going to win Best Picture? Is my favorite actress going to go from never having been in a Best Picture nominee straight into being in a take a shot straight into being in a Best Picture winner? Can this many good things happen with one announcement? I won't jinx it. Forget I said any of this. I was never here. Oh wait, I'm not here. That's what made me laugh out loud a little bit, everyone. You were curious why I laughed out loud randomly during one of the things Ashley was saying.
So yeah, with that being said, that means that Barbenheimer was the big takeaway from everything. Oppenheimer getting 8, Barbie getting 6, Holdovers getting 3, and that was it. Everything else got 1. That being, of course, Anatomy of a Fall getting foreign, American Fiction getting script, and Poor Things getting actress. You know, Killers of the Flower Moon with 12 nominations got nothing. Maestro with 8 got nothing. Color Purple with 5 got nothing. I'll leave the 3s and the 2s because they're not as substantial. But yeah, a lot got a lot of recognition and didn't get anything. And then in terms of our predictions, that means that, at least for the films, I only got 10 out of the 21 correct. AJ got 12 and Owen had 13. So, in total for the critics, AJ had 23, I had 24, and Owen had 27. So he wins the critics' predictions.
Finally.
Which is, traditionally this is the one that you do the worst on.
Oh god, yes, easily.
And then going into the subtitles so far, with 2 of the 6, because we always usually band the guilds together, even though, God, what if it comes down to the fact that, like, we're really that close and then we have to wait a month after the award season to find out who wins because of WGA?
We are doing a special podcast. Or this is plan anyway to talk about WGA after it's September, because that's technically the end right there.
But 2 of the 6, sort of. AJ is on 36, Owen's on 38. I still hold the lead on 39, so there's still only 3 points between us. Nobody's sort of really run away with it yet. I mean,
not yet.
And in terms of next thing, well, I say next thing we cover, I don't think it's worth just doing a separate show just for the DGAs, given it's only 3 awards. So we might meld that into when we talk about the BAFTAs, which is the week after.
I have it BAFTA on Sunday, I have Guilds on SAG on Monday, and I have Oscars on...
No, I'm actually talking in terms of the next ceremonies.
Oh, there we
go. DGA is the 10th of February, but then BAFTAs is the 18th, so I think it's fitting to do that with that there. Because with that, we'll be able to do a post show because it's going to be earlier. Because again, I'm probably going to have to do the neighborly thing and
Yes.
provide an alternative BritBox, shall we say? Um,
Accurate.
but then, of course, the issue that we have, which might make sense in terms of us staggering the spirits to how we're doing now and reviewing it the day after
Mm,
rather than the day of, is well, no, we could probably do a SAG post show maybe at
maybe.
some point in the right before we get to spirits, but the spirits are the same day as PGA.
Hmm.
And usually with how the spirits are doing their stuff now, their stuff is like really early in the afternoon, so I guess it caters to the East Coast gang more than an 8 o'clock Eastern show. So in
Hmm.
theory, people could be at, if they fit, could be at PGA as well as the independent spirits.
Sure.
So yeah, after the two ceremonies, it's basically just reacting to a lot of nominations and that for the next couple of weeks, as Owen's previously gone over in terms of tomorrow and next week,
Yes.
and then you get a break, at least from award stuff from us, probably for about a week or two, and then February is probably when it gets hectic again.
Yeah. Very much so.
So, I think with that we will wrap it up for tonight, and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern,
Yep.
to go through the 23, and probably also put some love for Angela Bassett and Mel Brooks as well, because the Governor Awards, i.e., the honorary Oscars, happened like last week, so we'll acknowledge that and everything probably there,
Sure.
because we'll be talking about other stuff when we actually get to nominations day in a week's time. So, uh, thank you to Bry, Josie, Parsnip. Uh, Probably Spencer will be lurking, or again missed the show because he forgot the ceremony happened.
Possible.
To be fair, considering how whether it's because I put up the stream late or there was not many people in the first few minutes of us doing this, which part of me felt was like, oh, really, people do not give a damn about Quick's Choice. That's why it's on the CW.
What archives are for everyone?
Yeah. In terms of other stuff, you've got plenty of gaming stuff from me over the past week. Sip and Snack should be coming as well, because I sort of do need
Eventually.
to clear out that orange.
Yes, you do.
Um, AJ's got Sip and Snack archives and Voice of Liberty archives.
AJ does.
I thought I said you, Owen. Sorry.
It's
Um,
fine.
AJ's got archives as well. It's just movie reviews and
Lots of them.
verses galore. And then of course you've got all
Um,
the Popcast Movie Club stuff, which I'm guessing with the Windows, we might be getting the Rent talk in a few weeks, possibly. We'll see.
we'll see.
See how it fits.
We might or might wait until this. We might wait till the season's over and then jump into it. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. We haven't really had that conversation.
No. There is obviously a window with being nothing happening for sort of 2 weeks after
And
the
that's also a time
Oscars.
we should relax too. So it could go either way.
Yeah. I mean, can we relax the Rent? You probably will, because you're a fan of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I can. I can tell you all sorts of stories about that. I will. Don't worry.
But
When AJ's 2023 movies are going to be talked about on here in podcast form. he's going to be reviewing 2024 movies. So yeah, that first video was supposed to come out this week with like Night Swim and some like streaming movies that probably don't matter. Needless to say, AJ got sick, so didn't work out that way. But rest assured, sometime the next week or so, hopefully everything will be good to go, and we'll get more AJ content on this channel.
Hmm. In terms of socials, you can find me at Ash is my name UK on Twitter/X. Owen can be found at Sir Owen Disney, and there is the Popcast Network account as well. But Owen's account is more the one that will give you the heads up on streams and or videos being live.
I put them all live whenever they go live on the channel.
So with that, thank you everybody for watching, listening. Some other sense, somehow, if you can feel it via vibration, I don't know. And until literally tomorrow, everybody, don't panic, because I am. I still need to do 23 award predictions.